Hi everyone and welcome to episode number 4 of the Shenmue Talk series here at the Shenmue Unofficial channel. In this episode I am going to talk about a powerful and mysterious character with a dominating and threatening presence, and that is personally for me one of the greatest villains in video game history and one of my favorite characters in the Shenmue series. As you have seen by now, the character that I'm going to talk about is Landy. Throughout this episode I am going to talk about this amazing character, and I am going to show you footage from both Shenmue 1 and 2, as well as information that I have researched in various websites that I think will help us to find out more about this mysterious character. But keep in mind that some of the things that I am going to show you have not been proven yet and are just theories. Most of them are personal and others are from other Shenmue fans, so let's get started. So we will start off by watching the cutscene where Landy appears for the very first time in Shenmue, and as we all know, it is where it all started, at the Azuki Dojo.
Stay back, mule. For the last time, where is the mirror? I've no intention of telling you.
Father! Why?
Now then. No matter how often you ask, I'll never tell. No, don't! Hand over the mirror. Or else, your son. Wait! The mirror, it's buried under the cherry tree. Do you remember Chao Sun Ming? Chao? That's the name of the man you killed in Moon Swan. It can't be. You! Get up. I'll allow you to die like a warrior. Father...
Lenny-sama, we have it.
From this cutscene we already know that the mirrors are very important to Landy, and that he will stop at nothing until he has them both, even if he has to kill someone. Another thing that we know is that he was also seeking revenge for the death of his father, Sun Mingzao, that was supposedly killed by Iwao Azuki. What we still don't know is why Landy wants the mirrors, and for what purpose, and if Iwao did kill Sun Mingzhao intentionally or not. For now, these questions will remain unanswered, but later on I will try to answer them with my personal theory. But if we take a closer look at Landy, mainly to what he is wearing, I think that we can find out some interesting clues about this mysterious character. So, Landy is wearing what appears to be a traditional Chinese outfit. This outfit is called Shangshan, or long shirt. Let us see what kind of clue can this outfit give us about Landy. A shangshan is a traditional Chinese dress, long jacket or tunic worn by men. In function, it is considered the male equivalent of the woman's xiongsan or qipao. In this case, the qipao is what Xu Ying wears when she is at Menmu Temple. It is also known as a shangpao or dagua. These types of dress were widely adopted beginning under the Manchu rulers of the Qing dynasty, who required that men in certain positions wear this style. The shangshan, along with qipao, were introduced to China during the Qing dynasty, between the 17th and 20th centuries. The Manchus, in 1636, ordered that all Han Chinese should adopt the shangshan style of dress, or face harsh punishment. However, after the 1644 fall of the Ming dynasty, the Manchus stopped this order. They required only that court and government officials wear Manchu clothes. As we have read, the traditional Chinese outfit that Landy wears, the shangshan, reveals a possible connection of Landy with the Qing dynasty, a dynasty that is mentioned by Yuan Dazu to Ryo and his friends at Ren's hideout in Kowloon. But before we recall this cutscene, let us see other interesting connections that Landy may have with the Qing dynasty. The possible connection of Landy with the Qing dynasty that I'm going to show you next may not be entirely correct, but I think that it could have been the source of inspiration behind Landy's hairstyle, as we will see next. For several hundred years, between the 16th and the early 20th century, men in China wore their hair in what is called a queue. In this hairstyle, the front and the sides are shaved, and the rest of the hair is gathered up and plaited into a long braid that hangs down the back. In the Western world, the image of the man with queues is practically synonymous with the idea of Imperial China, so it may surprise you to learn that this hairstyle did not actually originate in China. The queue was originally a Jurchen or Manchu hairstyle from what is now the northeastern section of China. In 1644, an ethnically Manchu army defeated the Han Chinese Ming and conquered China. The Manchus seized Beijing and established a new ruling family on the throne, calling themselves the Qing dynasty. This would turn out to be China's final imperial dynasty, lasting until 1911 or 1912. The first Manchu emperor of China, whose original name was Fulin and whose throne name was Shunzi, ordered all Han Chinese men to adopt the queue as a sign of submission to the new regime. The only exceptions allowed to the tonsure order were for Buddhist monks who shaved their entire heads and Taoist priests who did not have to shave. Now that we know a little bit of the history behind the hairstyle of the men from the Qing dynasty, let us see how it looked like and also compare it with Landy's hairstyle as well. As I have said before, this connection is not entirely correct, but although the hairstyles are not exactly the same, I think that by comparing them both, we can say that they are pretty similar, especially due to the long braid present in both pictures. That's why I think that this may have been the source of inspiration behind Landy's hairstyle. Now, let us take a look at another interesting fact that may not just connect Landy with the Qing dynasty, but also with the mythological creature of the dragon. If we take a look at Landy's picture in the Shenmue 1 and 2 manuals, we will see the name Kanglong next to the name Landy, and if we translate this name, I think that we will find out something very interesting about it. So, by taking a look at the translation of the name Kanglong, we can see below that it means blue dragon. That is one of the 4 symbols of the Chinese constellations, also known as the Azure Dragon of the East. Now that we have translated the name Kanglong, let us see how this name may be connected with the Qing dynasty. The flag of the Qing dynasty was an emblem adopted in the late 19th century, featuring the Azure Dragon on a plain yellow field with the red flaming pearl of the 3-legged crow in the upper left corner. It became the first national flag of China, and it's usually referred to as the Yellow Dragon flag. The fact that Landy has the name Kanglong, which means blue dragon, and that the flag of the Qing dynasty also features a blue dragon makes it an interesting coincidence. These possible connections that Landy may have with the Qing dynasty lead me to believe that he can be more than just one of the leaders of the criminal organization of the Qiumi. And the cutscene that we are going to see next can reveal why Landy may be a descendant of the Qing dynasty, and one of the reasons why he wants to have both mirrors.
So, Iwao was killed by Landy. How cruel can fate be?
Please tell me, why did Landy kill my father?
He was like you. Vengeance.
Vengeance?
Landy avenged the death of his father, Sun Minzhao.
Do you remember Sun Mingzhao?
Su Ming Zhao. That name!
Landy's real name is Long Sun Zhao. He is the son of Sun Mingzhao. Landy believed that Sun Mingzhao was killed by your father, Iwao Hazuki.
That can't be true! Father would never kill!
I'd like to believe that myself, but I don't know what really happened.
You don't?
But I do know that Su Mingzhao died, and that Iwao brought Zhao's mirrors to Japan.
The mirrors.
Su Mingzhao was my best friend. If he had lived, he would have become a legendary martial arts master.
My father had this mirror.
Oh, there's no mistake. It's the mirror once owned by Su Mingzhao.
Landy took the dragon mirror when he came to kill my father.
Is that so?
I don't want to listen to these depressing stories. I want to know about this mirror here. What the hell is this, huh?
When this phoenix mirror is paired with the dragon mirror, the two form a key.
A key?
Yes. A key to the treasures hidden away in order to revive the Qing dynasty.
Woo-hoo-hoo! Did you hear that? Treasures, he said. I told you, my hunches are always right. And how do we get this treasure, huh?
Excuse me. Could you turn out the lights and light the candle? You should see this.
What's the show?
This is...
These 7 lights indicate the location of the treasure.
Where is that?
A single mirror is not enough.
What?
Only when this is combined with the light pattern from the dragon mirror will we know.
There's no way of finding out with only the Phoenix mirror.
There is a clue. You must go to Guilin.
Guilin?
There is a place where Zhao and Iwao trained when they were young.
my father?
Go to Bailu village in Guilin. The mirrors are made of phantom river stone found only in that village. The descendants of the one who made the mirrors live there too. You might find more information there.
Bailu village.
Landi is headed there as well.
Lendi has gone to Guilin?
In the cutscene that we just saw, we learn from Yuan Azu that Landi killed Iwao Azuki because he wanted to avenge the death of his father Sun Mingzao, and that the real name of Landi is Long Sun Zhao. We also learn that the dragon and the phoenix mirrors, when paired, form a key to the treasures that were hidden away in order to revive the Qing dynasty. So, as we have seen, it is quite possible that Landi is a descendant of the Qing dynasty, and that one of the reasons why he wants the mirrors is to revive his imperial dynasty once again, by getting his hands on the treasures that were hidden away. This could also have been the reason why Iwao Azuki brought the mirrors to Japan. If Sun Mingzao's intentions were to revive the Qing dynasty with the hidden treasures, then China could go into war once again, and many people would die. And as I have said before, Iwao could have killed Sun Mingzao in order to avoid a greater evil from happening. But can Landi be a rightful heir to the imperial throne of China? To try to answer this question, let us analyze the names Landi and Long Sun Zhao, because I think they can help us answer this question. In the name Landi, we are going to focus on the word Di by translating the Chinese character of this word and see what information it will give us. In this page, I have highlighted the Chinese character of the word Di. Let us take a look at its translation. As we can see, the translation of the Chinese character of the word Di tells us that it means emperor. We can also see below that this word is related with the Yellow Emperor Wang Di, the mythological emperor of China. But to better understand this word, let us analyze its meaning in Chinese culture. By taking a look at the highlighted part of the text, we can see that the word Di means emperor, but it can also mean deity. Let us see why this word has these two meanings. Shangdi is the pinyin romanization of two Chinese characters. The first, Shang, means high, highest, first, primordial. The second, Di, is typically considered a shorthand for Wang Di in modern Chinese, the title of the emperors of China first employed by Qin Shi Huang, and it is usually translated as emperor. The word itself derived from the three Wang and 5 Di, including Yellow Emperor Wang Di, the mythological originator of the Chinese civilization and the ancestor of the Chinese race. However, the character Di refers to the high god of Shang, thus means deity, manifested god, similar to Pharaoh in concept. Thus, the name Shangdi should be translated as highest deity, but also have the implied meaning of primordial deity or first deity in classical Chinese. The deity preceded the title, and the emperors of China were named after him in their role as Tianzi, the sons of heaven. Could this mean that from what we have read, that Landi, besides being a possible descendant of the Qing dynasty, could also be some sort of deity? I think that the answer can be yes. But before we analyze this possibility, let us take a look at Landi's real name, Long Sun Zhao. In this page down below, I have highlighted the name Long Sun Zhao and the Chinese characters of the name. In this name, we are going to focus only on the Chinese character of the word Long, and we will be analyzing Landi's surname Zhao, because I think that they can also give us some clues about Landi. By translating the Chinese word Long, we can see that it means dragon. This, in my opinion, reinforces the idea that Landi has definitely a connection with the mythological creature of the dragon. Now, let us take a look at the Zhao family name. Zhao, also romanized Chao, Cho, Chio, Tio, and various other forms, is a Chinese family name, ranking as the 7th most common surname in mainland China, and carried mainly by people of Mandarin-speaking regions. Zhao is the first surname in the famous 100 family surnames, the traditional list of all Chinese surnames, because it was the emperor's surname of the Song dynasty between 1960 and 1279, when the list was compiled. The Zhao family name is also one of the most ancient of Chinese surnames, and its origins are partially shrouded in legend. The Zhao name experienced a great revival after Zhao Guanjin became the first emperor of the Song dynasty in 960 AD, leading to 300 years of Zhao rule over China. Notably, it is during this dynasty that the famous 100 family surnames, the traditional list of all Chinese surnames, was compiled, leading the surname Zhao, that of the royal house, to be the first name listed. In this picture are the names of historical figures with the Zhao family name, and we can see that almost all of them are emperors of the Song dynasty. I think that this reinforces the possibility of Landi being a descendant of an imperial family either from the Qing or the Song dynasties. Now that we have covered the possible clues behind Landi's several names, let us continue and analyze his connection with the mythological creature of the dragon. Chinese dragons are legendary creatures in Chinese mythology and Chinese folklore. The dragons have many animal-like forms, such as turtles and fish, but are most commonly depicted as snake-like, with 4 legs. Chinese dragons traditionally symbolize potent and auspicious powers, particularly control over water, rainfall, typhoons, and floods. The dragon is also a symbol of power, strength, and good luck for people who are worthy of it. With this, the Emperor of China usually used the dragon as a symbol of his imperial power and strength. In Chinese daily language, excellent and outstanding people are compared to a dragon, while incapable people with no achievements are compared with other disesteemed creatures, such as a worm. A number of Chinese proverbs and idioms feature references to a dragon, such as "hoping one's son will become a dragon." Historically, the dragon was associated with the Emperor of China and used as a symbol to represent imperial power. The founder of Han Dynasty, Liu Bang, claimed that he was conceived after his mother dreamt of a dragon. During the Tang Dynasty, emperors wore robes with dragon motif as an imperial symbol, and high officials might also be presented with dragon robes. In the Yuan dynasty, the two-horned, five-clawed dragon was designated for use by the Son of Heaven or Emperor only, while the four-clawed dragon was used by the princes and nobles. Similarly, during the Ming and Qin dynasty, the five-clawed dragon was strictly reserved for use by the emperor only. The dragon in the Qing dynasty appeared on the first Chinese national flag. From the texts that we have read, I think that we can establish some interesting connections between Landi and the mythological creature of the dragon. As we have read, dragons were used as an imperial symbol by the emperors of China because they represented power and strength, and that in China people that are considered to be excellent and outstanding are compared with dragons. I think that we can associate this with the fact that we have seen that Landi might be a descendant of imperial dynasties that once ruled China, and that we have also seen that he is an excellent and outstanding martial arts master. Another interesting fact that we have read in the previous text is that only the Son of Heaven and the Emperor could use robes depicting a five-clawed dragon, and if we take a closer look at the dragon in Landi's robes, we will see that it has also 5 claws. I think that this could be either an interesting clue or it could have been merely an aesthetical coincidence, but nevertheless a very interesting one in my opinion. Now let us see what deity or deities Landi might be connected with. The Wufang Shangdi, or 5 forms of the highest deity, or simply Wudi, 5 deities, or Wushan, 5 gods, are in Chinese canonical texts and common Chinese religion the 5 main deities proceeding from the universal God. They have cosmological significance as they describe space as Tan, or altar. According with the 3 powers, Sankai, they have a celestial, a terrestrial, and a stonic form. The Han Chinese identify themselves as the descendants of the red and yellow deities. They are associated to the 5 colors, the 5 phases of creation, the 5 key planets of the solar system, and the 5 constellations rotating around the celestial pole, the 5 sacred mountains, and the 5 directions of space, their terrestrial form, and the 5 dragon gods, Longshan, who represent their mounts. That is to say, the material forces they preside over, their stonic form. At first glance, this text doesn't reveal to us what kind of deity Landi might be connected with, but if we take a closer look to the picture on the right side of the page, we will see that among the many names it contains, there is one that is familiar to us and that we have talked about before. This is the picture that we could see at the right side of the page, and if we take a look at the green rectangle on the right side, we will see the name Kanglong or Blue Dragon highlighted in a blue rectangle. As we can see, the name Kanglong appears to correspond to one of the 5 deities of the Wufang Shangdi. Could this mean that Landi is part of a group inspired in the deities of Chinese culture and religion? I think that the next cutscene that I'm going to show you might give us some clues to help us answer this question.
There's no one here. Where did Zoo disappear to?
calm down.
Shut up! I am calm. Huh? That's the stick the old man gave you. Oh, snake tortoise of the four heavenly beasts. Smells fishy.
Yeah. There must be something here.
I'll be on the lookout. Hurry and search.
This picture. The four heavenly beasts Ren mentioned. This is... looks similar to the stick Zhang gave me. There must be some meaning to the combination of these pictures. Somewhere in this room are the others? Some connection with the four heavenly beasts?
How's it going? Did you find something? Hey, what is it? These are the four heavenly beasts. Same picture that's on those sticks that old man gave you. Look. Hey, that statue looks fishy.
Statue of Buddha.
Well, check carefully.
A statue of Buddha. There are holes in the face. Looks like a keyhole. Good. This was the right one. 3 more to go. There's something... This is... a phoenix. Good, it fits. Heard the key click. 2 more. This uniform is... the Hazuki name's on it. Perhaps this was my father's. What? Same shape as the stick Zhang gave me. This is a picture of a tiger. Good. Heard the key click. 1 more. Yin and yang. Same as the banner in our dojo. There's something... This is... a picture of a dragon. Same shape as the other sticks. Are these keys? Good. This was the right one.
Hey! What the hell?
You are young Dazu.
In the cutscene that we just saw, Ryo and Ren are searching for clues to find Yuandazu. While searching the room, Ryo finds a diagram depicting the 4 heavenly beasts. This diagram showed Ryo where to put each key of the 4 heavenly beasts on the statue of Buddha, ending up revealing Yuandazu's hideout. The 4 mythological creatures shown in this cutscene aren't just important because they revealed Yuandazu's hideout. In fact, they are important because they are connected with the Chiu-Min, more precisely with each one of its leaders, including Landy. But to have a better understanding about their connection, let us take a look at an interview from David DeVille with Yu Suzuki that was posted in the Shenmue Dojo website. During this interview, David asks Yu Suzuki the following question. There are 4 Chiu-Min bosses. Among them, fans are aware of 3 characters, Landy, Niao San and Hong, Shu Ying's brother Ziming. Could you provide some details about the last one? And Yu Suzuki gives a very interesting answer. Landy, Rantei Soryo, is the East leader. His name also means Blue Dragon. About Niao San, she also has another name, Entei, and rules over the south part, and is represented by a phoenix. Now regarding the last 2 bosses, no one has seen them yet. One of them is Kotei and leads the west part, and is represented by a tiger. The last one is Gentei, covers the north part, and is represented by a turtle. Oh, and Ziming Hong is not one of the 4 leaders. By the answer given by Yu Suzuki in this interview, we can definitely tell that there is a connection between the 4 leaders of the Chiu-Min and the 4 mythological creatures that we had seen in the previous cutscene. Yu Suzuki also revealed the names of each leader and that each one of them rules a different area of China in accordance with the compass direction. With this new information, let us analyze these mythological creatures and the names of the other Chiu-Min leaders and see if we can find out more about them. In Chinese culture, the 4 heavenly beasts are also known as the 4 guardians of the 4 compass directions, or celestial emblems of the Chinese emperor. And if we look carefully at the information shown below the picture of the 4 mythological creatures, we will see that each one of them is associated with the exact same compass direction that every Chiu-Min leader rules over. But this is not all. Each mythological creature is also associated with a season, a color, and a natural element, just like the deities in the Wufeng Shangdi. And if we go back and take a closer look at its diagram, we will see that they are also a part of it. In this diagram of the Wufeng Shangdi, I have highlighted the Chinese names of each one of the 4 heavenly beasts in a rectangle with the color they are associated with. Now let us confirm if their names are correct and what information they can provide us. Let us begin by taking a look at the mythological creature associated with Niao San, the Red Phoenix, or Zuku in Chinese. The vermilion bird is one of the 4 symbols of the Chinese constellations. According to Wu Xing, the Taoist 5-element system, it represents the fire element, the direction south, and the season summer correspondingly. Thus, it is sometimes called the vermilion bird of the south. It is known as Zuku in Chinese. It is described as a red bird that resembles a pheasant with a 5-colored plumage and is perpetually covered in flames. Next, we have the white tiger that is associated with Kotei. This mythological creature has a Chinese name that is familiar to all Shenmue fans, because it has the same name of a powerful martial artist that Ryo fights in Shenmue 2, Baiyu. The white tiger is one of the 4 symbols of the Chinese constellations. It is sometimes called the white tiger of the west, and is known as Baiyu in Chinese. it represents the west and the autumn season. The fact that Baiyu is the Chinese name for white tiger made me and other Shenmue fans as well believe that the character Baiyu in Shenmue 2 was indeed one of the 4 leaders of the Chiumen. But after Yu Suzuki's interview and with the revelation that Kotei is the leader associated with the white tiger, pretty much confirmed that this theory was wrong. Nevertheless, many Shenmue fans still believe that Master Baiyu will appear in the future Shenmue series. In my opinion, it will be unlikely, but it would be great if that happened, because he was a great challenge and he really felt like a special character. Now, let us take a look at the creature associated with Gentei, the black turtle, or in Chinese, Xuanwu. The black tortoise or black turtle is one of the 4 symbols of the Chinese constellations. Despite its English name, it is usually depicted as a turtle entwined together with a snake. Further, in East Asia, it is not called after either animal, but is instead known as the Black Warrior, under various local pronunciations. It is known as Xuanwu in Chinese. It represents the north and the winter season. The creature's name is identical to that of the important Taoist god Xuanwu, who is sometimes portrayed in the company of a turtle and snake. As we have seen, it is not just Landi that can be associated with the deities in the Wufang Shangdi, but all the other Chiumin leaders as well. But the Chiumin leaders are not just connected with the Wufang Shangdi because of their association with the 4 heavenly beasts, because if we take a look at their names in Chinese, we will see that they can also be found in the diagram as well. So let us translate their names in Chinese and look where they can be found in the diagram of the Wufang Shangdi. We will start once again with Niao San by translating the Chinese characters of her other name, Entei, and see where it can be found on the diagram. As we can see, the Chinese characters of the name Entei in Chinese mean Yandi or Flame Emperor. That is also associated with the legendary dynasty that descended from Shennong, the farmer god. Let us see if we can find any of these names in the diagram of the Wufang Shangdi. As we can see, both the names Shennong and Yandi appear on the diagram inside the red rectangle that also contains the mythological creature of the phoenix, or Zuku, that we had previously associated with Niao San. Now let us see who were Shennong and Yangdi in Chinese history and culture. Yandi, the Fire Emperor, also called Shidi Red Emperor, is an ancient deity of early China. He is often said to be the same person as the cultural hero Shennong, the divine husbandman. According to cosmological theory in the book Huainanzi, the Red Emperor is the personification of the processual element fire and the south, master of the summer and assistant to the deity Zuming. In the person of the Emperor of Fire, this deity symbolized the phenological and political power of fire, while he is the symbol for human culture in the person of Shennong. Yandi also supported the Yellow Emperor in the battle against his enemy Chiyo. Now let us translate the Chinese characters of the name Kotei and see with who can it be connected in the diagram of the Wufang Shangdi. The Chinese characters of the name Kotei that were translated reveal the surname Hao and the word Emperor. Let us see if there is any emperor with the surname Ao in the rectangle that corresponds to the one that we had previously associated with Kotei. Inside the grey rectangle at the left, we can see the name Xiao Hao. I believe that this is the name that is associated with the translation that we made of the name Kotei, because we will see that Xiao Hao was an emperor of ancient China. Zi or DZ was one of the mythological 5 emperors of prehistoric China. DZ is also identified as the same person like Emperor Xiao Hao. Xiao Hao is said to have ruled for 84 years. His descendants lived in a small fief of Tan during the spring and autumn period. Xiao Hao ruled over the west and is also called the White Emperor by Di. As we have seen, even historical figures of ancient China had various names, just like what happens with most of the characters in Shenmue, mainly with the 4 leaders of the Qiumin. I believe that this aspect could have also been a source of inspiration for Yu Suzuki in the creation of these characters. Now, let us carry on and translate the Chinese characters of the name Gentei and see to what name it corresponds in the black rectangle. The translation of the Chinese characters of the name Gentei reveal to us the name Xuandi, that can mean Black Emperor or Mysterious Emperor. These 2 names can also be interpreted as Black Deity or Mysterious Deity, because we have seen before that the character of the word Di can also mean deity. So let us see if Xuandi is present in the black rectangle that is associated with the Qiumin leader Gentei. If we take a look inside the black rectangle, we can see that the name Xuandi is not present, but we have the name Xuanwu that we had previously associated with the mythological creature of the black turtle. Let us take a look at this name and see if it has any connection with the name Xuandi. Xuanwu, Dark Warrior or Mysterious Warrior, or Xuandi, Dark Deity, also known as Zhenwu or Zhenwu Dadi, True Warrior, Great Deity, is a deity in Chinese religion and one of the high-ranking deities in Taoism. He is revered as a powerful god, able to control the elements and capable of great magic. He is identified as the god of the north, Heidi, black deity, and is particularly revered by martial artists. Xuandi can also be associated with the Chinese emperor Xuanzhu. Xuanzhu, also called Gao Yang, is one of the mythical 5 emperors. A story in the Shen Hai Jing says that he was a descendant of the Yellow Emperor. He is astronomically connected with the direction north and therefore also called Black Emperor, Xuandi or Heidi. As we have seen, the name Xuandi is connected with the names Xuanwu and Xuanzhu that are present in the black rectangle on the diagram of the Wufeng Shengdi. If the Qiumin leader Gentei is truly inspired in this deity, he could be one of the most interesting characters still to come into the Shenmue series. And finally we have Landi. Unfortunately, out of the 4 leaders of the Qiumin, Landi is the one that seems to have no connection of its name with the ones in the green rectangle, except for the name Kanglong, that is associated with the mythological creature of the dragon. Nevertheless, let us take a look at the translation of the Chinese characters of its name. As we can see, the translation of the Chinese characters of the name Landi give us the name Blue Emperor, and although this name is not present in the list of names that are in the green rectangle, I think that it is associated with the name of the Emperor Tai Hao. Fuxi, also called Mixi or Paoxi, is one of the mythical 3 Augusts or 5 emperors. His cognomen is Tai Hao. Fuxi is also the deity representing the east and reigning the element wood. Tai Hao or Fuxi are also called Green Emperor, Qingdi or Kangdi, and ruled over the east. The historical figures portrayed as deities that make up the Wufeng Shengdi and that we have associated with the Qiumin leaders are the founding fathers of Chinese civilization and culture. In my personal opinion, I think that it is almost certain that the Wu Feng Shengdi was Yu Suzuki's source of inspiration in the creation of the Chiumin leaders, making them the evil counterparts of these historical figures in the fictional world of Shenmue. But in the Wu Feng Shengdi there was also a central figure that is the primordial deity, called Wang Di. Could this mean that there exists a supreme leader of the Chiumin? The answer is definitely yes, and he is known among Shenmue fans as Tente. But for now, let us leave this subject for later, because it will be part of my final theory of this episode. Before I end up this episode with my final theory on why Landy really wants the mirrors, let me ask you a question. Have you ever wondered why did the snow turn into rain in the night that Iwao died at the Azuki Dojo? You probably might think that this question may have no importance whatsoever, but in my opinion it is of some importance. But before I give you my personal answer, let us take a look at some short cutscenes that I think are important for you to understand why I think the answer to this question is important.
Father!
Stay back. Get up. I'll allow you to die like a warrior. Father!
Lenny-sama, we have it.
Father!
The dragon calls the dark clouds and hides the morning star. The path is closed, and the hope of meeting is lost.
I shall take your power for the Chio.
As you may have noticed in the short cutscenes that I have shown, there is always a storm in the presence of Landy. We can hear thunder and strong winds in the background. We can see dark clouds that bring rain, and even lightning. We can say that it is to make the scene more dramatic, but it is not just that. For me, this is what symbolizes Landy as a dragon in the Shenmue series. Because if we go back at the description that is given of the dragon, we will see that Chinese dragons traditionally symbolize potent and auspicious powers, particularly control over water, rainfall, typhoons, and floods. And to confirm that this theory is almost certain, the next trailer exemplifies the description that is given in this picture perfectly. Now that we have seen how I think Landy is portrayed as a dragon in the Shenmue series, let us take a look at a cutscene that I had mentioned in the previous episode, and that for me has an important symbolic meaning, and that I think is closely connected with Landy because of what we just talked about.
I'd better hurry. Hey, are you alright?
The little deer. Where is the deer? Oh, good. I'm so glad. You saved us.
Are you okay?
Thank you.
Why did you jump in?
I just had to. I had to save it.
Huh?
The white deer is my village's guardian.
A Guardian? A white deer. White. Bai. Deer. Lu.
Bailu Village. My home.
Bailu Village. Where is this village?
It's up along this river.
Is it far?
I can show you. I'm Shenhua. What's your name?
Yo. Hazuki.
Yo. Follow me.
The cutscene that we just saw, in my personal opinion, is important because I think it symbolizes that Bailu village is in danger and that Landy may already be there, because Bailu means white deer and he is considered to be the village's guardian. Ryo and Shenmue's encounter that has been predetermined since ancient times also symbolizes Ryo and Shenmue joining forces against Landy, and that they will protect Bailu village. And now for my final theory on why Landy wants the dragon and the phoenix mirrors. This theory is also based on the interview that Yu Suzuki gave to David DeVille, where he asks questions involving the death of Landy's father, Sun Mingzao. Let us take a look at this part of the interview. So, during this interview, David asks Yu Suzuki the following question. Since we are still talking about the introduction of the game, I guess you won't be able to answer my next question, but I will still ask. Did Yuao really kill Zhao Sunming? And Yu Suzuki answers, that's right, I cannot tell you if he did it or not. It would be like revealing a movie's ending before you even saw it. That's why I cannot answer. Then David asks a very interesting question. Let's get back to Zhao Sunming. There is something fans would like to know. Is he really dead? And Yu Suzuki answers, yes he is. But then David wrote down something that could interest Shenmue fans. I asked him a second time if he was really dead, and his answer was a bit different. If I had to translate, you could read as follows. For now he's dead. In fact, he's dead. He laughed a bit when I've asked him the second time. Is Zhao Sunming really dead? No one really knows but Suzuki-san. He could be dead or not. As we have seen, this interview was very interesting, and in my opinion it could have revealed why Landy really wants the mirrors. But before I elaborate my theory, let us see what can happen if Landy gets his hands on both mirrors.
Ah, the Phoenix Mirror. Yes, it's made of Phantom River stone.
Why did Landy only steal the dragon mirror?
He probably didn't realize your father had both of them.
2 mirrors.
A long time ago, Zhu Yuanda once told me, when the dragon and the phoenix meet, the gates of heaven and earth will open, and Qi Yu will resurrect itself on earth.
Ji Yu.
It's a legendary Chinese monster that will devour this world of ours. It appears Lan Di will try to make use of both mirrors.
What will he try?
That even I don't know, but you mustn't allow him to get that mirror. Be careful and stay alert.
If he finds that mirror, it will be the end of you.
In this cutscene, Ryo hears from Master Chen the legend of Chiyo that says that when the dragon and the phoenix meet, the gates of heaven and earth will open, and Chiyo will resurrect itself on earth. Master Chen also says that Chiyo is a legendary Chinese monster that will devour the world, and that Landy will make use of both mirrors. Can the revival of this Chinese legendary monster be the reason why Landy really wants the mirrors? Or could his real intentions be associated with this legend? As we have seen previously, there are 4 Chiu-Min leaders. 2 of them are Landy and Niao-san. The other 2 haven't made their appearance yet in the Shenmue series, but we know that they are called Gentei and Kotei. But could there be a supreme leader among the Chiu-Min? And what if that leader was Zhao Sunming? If Zhao Sunming were to be the supreme leader of the Chiu-Min, he could be considered as Chiyo itself. This would make sense on why Landy wants the mirrors. Landy would use the mirrors to bring back his father to the world of the living, because according with the legend that Master Chen told Ryo, when the dragon and the phoenix meet, the gates of heaven and earth will open, and Chiyo will resurrect itself on earth. This could be interpreted as the 2 mirrors together opening the gates of heaven and earth, and Zhao Sunming's resurrection as Chiyo in the world of the living. And if we take a look at the video of Yu Suzuki's message of the last 24 hours of the Shenmue 3 Kickstarter campaign, I think that it can give us a clue that this theory might be possible.
バッカーの皆さんこんにちは。ディレクターの鈴木です。シェンムー3の発表から早くも1ヶ月が経ちました。わずか8時間で目標の2ミリオンダラーを達成したり、1ミリオンダラーのギネス記録を塗り替えたり、皆さんの活動の一つ一つが奇跡を呼んだ結果です。改めて皆さんのシェンムーに対する期待と愛を感じています。そして1ヶ月続いたキックスターターキャンペーンも残り24時間となりました。この24時間でシェンムーはまた新たな奇跡を起こすと信じています。14年間思い続けたファンの皆さんと私たちの夢を実現しましょう。
If you have paid close attention, you might have noticed this picture among the many others that were shown in the video. If I recall correctly, this character has never appeared in any game of the Shenmue series. Who can this character really be? Is this character Landy's father, Zhao Sunming? Is he the supreme leader of the Chiu-Min? Or is he one of the leaders that we haven't seen yet? Let us analyze the picture and see if we can find out any clue about this mysterious character. By taking a look at this picture, we can see the head of an old man at the center, with some candles in each of the sides. The expression on the old man's face seems to indicate that he's either asleep, in meditation, or even in what appears to be a state of hibernation, giving a feeling that this character is trapped in an eternal sleep. There are also several images of his face that seem to be floating around its head, giving an overall aura of mysticism. But why is only the head shown in this picture? I think that what I'm about to show next may be a possible answer for this question. According to notes by the Qing dynasty painter Luo Ping, Yellow Emperor ordered these men to have Chiyo beheaded, seeing that Chiyo's head was separated from his body. Later sages had his image engraved on sacrificial vessels as a warning to those that would covet power and wealth. So can this character really be the leader of the Chiu-Min? I think that from what we have just read, the answer might be yes. But just like David said on his interview, only Yu Suzuki really knows the answer to this question. But there is also an even higher entity that can be behind all of the events that are occurring in Shenmue, an entity that we will see that is connected with all of the most important subjects that we have been covering so far in all of the episodes of the Shenmue Talk series. He is known among Shenmue fans as Tentei, but to understand who can Tentei really be, let us translate its name. By translating the Japanese characters of the name Tentei into Chinese, we get the name Shangdi, a name that we are familiar with from previous episodes of the Shenmue Talk series. and that is directly connected with the subject of the Wufeng Shengdi that we have talked about in this episode. Another translation of the Japanese characters of the name Tentei give us the name Tiandi, that means God of Heaven or Celestial Emperor. This name is also associated with the name Shengdi. I think that with these translations we can say without a doubt that Tentei and Shengdi are the same deity. So now let us see who Tentei or Shengdi can really be. Wangdi, Yellow Emperor or Yellow Deity, also called Wangshen, Yellow God, also known simply as Xuanyan, said to have been his name as human, or by the epithet of Xuanyan Wangdi. Xuanyan, the Yellow Deity, is the great deity of the central peak. He is the most important god in the cosmology of the Wufeng Shengdi, and possibly the most important god in Chinese religion. He represents the essence of earth and the yellow dragon, Wanglong. He is the deity who informs the material world, Di, creator of the Wuxia civility, of marriage and morality, language and lineage, and primal ancestor of all the Chinese. His astral body is Saturn, but he is also identified as the sun god and with the star Regulus, Alpha Leonis, and constellations Leo and Lynx, of which the latter is said to represent the body of the yellow dragon. He corresponds to the Wangshen Beidou, yellow god of the northern Deeper, of whom in certain historical sources he is described as the human form, making an ontological distinction between the two. By the connection with the northern Deeper, the yellow god or deity is identified as another name of the supreme god, Shangdi or Tiandi. The character Wang for yellow also means biomophony and shared etymology with Wang, August, creator and radiant, another means of identification with Shangdi, the highest deity. As we have read, the Yellow Emperor Wangdi, or Yellow Deity, that is associated with the mythological creature of the Yellow Dragon, is the most important god in the Wufeng Shengdi. Wangdi can also be identified as Shangdi or Tiandi, that means Supreme God. With this information, I think we can conclude that the Yellow Emperor Wangdi is Tentei. And to confirm this theory, let us take a look at the diagram where I explain how he is connected to the most important elements that are part of the Shenmue story. In this diagram, I will demonstrate how all of the subjects that we have talked about in this episode and that are present in this picture are connected with the Yellow Emperor Wangdi. So, we know that the Qiumin are a Chinese cartel led by Landi, Niao San, and two unknown leaders with the names Gentei and Kotei. Each one of the Qiumin leaders is associated with one of the four heavenly beasts, and it seems that their intentions are to revive their supreme leader Qi-Yo, using the dragon and the phoenix mirrors. We come to this conclusion because of the legend of Qi-Yo that is told by Master Chen, that says that when the dragon and the phoenix meet, the gates of heaven and earth will open, and Qi-Yo will resurrect itself on earth. Another legend says that during ancient times an emperor ordered a sculptor from Guilin to create the mirrors. This emperor was almost certainly Wangdi, because historical records reveal that during prehistoric China, the Yellow Emperor Wangdi and Qi-Yo were enemies and fought against one another in the Battle of Zuolu. Wangdi is also connected with the four heavenly beasts, because all of them are part of the cosmology of the Wufeng Shengdi, where Wangdi is the most important god. As we have seen, it seems that all of the subjects that were covered in this episode and that are present in this picture are connected with each other, and all of them seem to converge towards a very important figure of Chinese history, religion and mythology, the Yellow Emperor Wangdi. I think that this conclusion ends up raising some questions about the story of Shenmue. Like, is the Yellow Emperor Wang Di the one behind all of the events that are occurring in Shenmue? Will Lan Di try to resurrect his father Zhao Sunming with the mirrors? And is the old man in the picture Chi Yo? Like always, we may find some answers to this amazing saga, but it always ends up raising more questions. That's one of the reasons why I love the Shenmue series so much. With that being said, we come once again to the conclusion of another episode of Shenmue Talk. I hope all of you have enjoyed this episode. Please let me know in the comments what did you think about my theories and the information that I have shared with you. And as always, until next time.